Are you self-employed or an employee working from home? If you've been wondering whether you can claim any work from home expenses, or which ones are actually tax deductible, you're in the right place. Hi. My name is Kat and I'm a chartered professional accountant. On this channel, we discuss Canadian tax, accounting, and personal finance, with the goal of helping you keep more of your hard-earned money in your own pockets. Today's video is all about claiming home office expenses on your tax return. We'll go over what work-from-home expenses are and which ones are tax-deductible, the eligibility criteria for claiming these expenses, and how to claim home office expenses on your tax return. At the end of the video, I'm going to share a tip that'll help make sure you don't miss out on any tax-deductible work-from-home expenses. So let's jump right in. First of all, what are work-from-home expenses? Also known as home office expenses, these are costs you incur due to working from your home, including things like electricity, water, and internet. The home office expenses you can claim depend on whether you're a salaried employee, a commission employee, or self-employed. Salaried employees can claim utilities, internet, maintenance, and rent. If you're an employee who earns commissions, you get to claim the same expenses as salaried employees, plus home insurance, property taxes, and the cost of leasing things like a cell phone or computer, as long as it relates to earning commission income. If you're self-employed, you can claim everything I already mentioned, plus the interest portion of your mortgage payments as well as CCA. But regardless of your status, you can't claim the full amount of each of these expenses. There are limits which we'll dive into a little later in this video. Next, what are the criteria you need to meet to be able to claim these expenses? Unfortunately, working from home doesn't, in and of itself, make you eligible for claiming home office expenses. There are actually 4 specific criteria that must be met for you to be able to claim these expenses if you're an employee. First, your employer must require you to work from home. Second, you need to meet one of the following 2 conditions. Either you worked more than 50% of the time from home, for a period of at least 4 consecutive weeks in the year. Or you use your workspace only for earning employment income and for meeting in person with clients regularly and continually. Third, you must have paid for the expenses yourself and not received a reimbursement from your employer. And fourth, your employer must provide you with a completed and signed copy of Form T-2200. If you're an employee and you don't meet all 4 of these requirements, you unfortunately can't claim any work-from-home expenses. If you're self-employed, you have it a little easier as you only need to meet one of 2 conditions. That is, either the workspace in your home is your principal place of business, or you use the space solely to meet clients or patients on a regular and ongoing basis. So if you're a freelancer, for example, and you work from an office in your home, you meet the first condition and you can claim home office expenses. For more information on self-employed tax deductions, be sure to watch my video all about the top 10 tax write-offs for small businesses in Canada, linked in the description box below. Before we go on, if you've learned something so far, please take a second to give this video a like, it really helps the channel. Next, how do you claim work-from-home expenses on your tax return? For employees, you'll need to fill out Form T-777. If you're self-employed, home office expenses are on Form T-2125 along with your other business expenses. If you have a dedicated office within your home, you'll need to calculate the area of your office, divided by the area of your entire home, to figure out how much of your expenses you can claim. For example, if your office measures 100 square feet, while the area of the entire home is 1,200 square feet, you'll be able to claim 8.33% of your home office expenses. If you don't have a dedicated office for work, it gets a bit more complicated. If you use an area of your home partially for work and partially for personal use, such as your dining room table for example, you also need to take into account the number of hours the space is used for work, in addition to the area of the workspace. So if you work from your dining room table, you would take the area of your dining room divided by the area of the home, which is the same thing we did earlier when calculating the area of a home office. Let's use the same percentage of 8.33%. Then you would also take the number of hours you work per week, let's say 40, divided by the total number of hours in a week, 168, which gives you 23.8%. So 8.33% times 23.8% equals 1.98%. This means you can only claim 1.98% of your home office expenses. Finally, there's one more limitation to work from home expenses, and it's that you can't use them to create or increase a loss from employment or business. On the bright side, if you're unable to claim all of your home office expenses in a particular tax year, you don't lose them, they can be carried forward to a future year. Now that we understand what work from home expenses are, the eligibility criteria to be able to claim them, and how to actually do so on your tax return, I'm going to give you a tip to help you make sure you don't miss out on any tax-deductible home office expenses. This is going to sound really simple, but it's crucial if you want to make sure you're not leaving any money on the table. Keep track of your home office expenses and related paperwork throughout the year, instead of waiting for tax season to try and locate receipts and figure out how much you paid for what. You could do this with a simple spreadsheet, where you enter all the home office related bills you pay every month, and keep a folder for all the corresponding receipts. Tracking your expenses is important for two reasons. 1. It'll make your tax filing a lot easier and less stressful if you're not scrambling trying to find receipts and identifying which expenses you paid for over the last 12 months. But more importantly, if you get audited by the CRA, you'll have all your documentation and paperwork ready. If you can't provide supportive documentation for the amounts you claimed, CRA will disallow them and reassess your return, charging you interest on the amount owed to them. Alright, so here are 3 important takeaways from this video. 1. Which home office expenses you can claim depends on whether you're a salaried employee, a commission employee, or self-employed. 2. You need to meet certain criteria to be able to claim work from home expenses. And 3. The amount you can claim is limited by the area of the workspace, the hours worked, and your income. That's all for today's video. I hope you found the information helpful. Don't hesitate to ask your questions or submit special requests for future videos in the comments. Be sure to hit that notification bell if you want to be the first to know when a new video is released. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.